The Indiana Fever have turned into America's favorite team, man, and it's hard to deny that after this.
Caitlin Clark fans, buckle up because we have some fantastic news from the WNBA, and let me tell you, it is huge. Get ready for an incredible year ahead because the WNBA just dropped a massive bomb by unveiling its national TV broadcast schedule for the 2025 season. And honestly, this changes everything.
The nationally televised schedule for Indiana Fever games has been announced. Indiana Fever get 41 national televised games, and these games are going to be on ABC, NBA TV.
Here we are. Indiana Fever put this out, man, just a few minutes ago. All eyes on us. 41 of our 44 games are on national television, the most television games in franchise history.
That's right. Caitlin Clark will be playing 41 nationally televised games in the 2025 season, the most in WNBA history. This means we will get to see more of Caitlin Clark in the upcoming season. And while Caitlin Clark gets all the glory, Angel Reese is still crying about her low salary.
To get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility for real.
We're sitting out.
Can you believe this? While Angel is threatening to boycott the upcoming season because of her insufficient salary, Caitlin Clark is raking in all the praise. Stay tuned till the end, as I will be showing you everything you need to know about the upcoming fixtures of Caitlin Clark and why Angel Reese is demanding to boycott the next season.
Indiana Fever ended up tweeting out, all eyes on us. Man, they don't hit the league with the two-pop. 41 of our 44 games on national TV. Most national TV games in franchise history. Most national TV games for a single team in WNBA history.
The upcoming WNBA season sees the league schedule expanded to 44 games, which is the most in a WNBA season. I mean, this is unbelievable. No other team in WNBA history has ever played so many games in a single season before. And it's all because of one player, Caitlin Clark. It's almost like watching the Beatles or the moon landing this summer, cause these games, they are gonna be huge.
If we take a look last year, Caitlin Clark on Ion, multiple games that drew over 1 million viewers. If we take a look at Caitlin Clark in general last year, CBS, ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, Ion, Caitlin Clark, cash cow.
Take a guess who is facing Clark in her first game, and if you said Angel Reese, then you would be absolutely correct because the season's schedule begins with Clark facing the Chicago Sky on May 17th.
Opening up May 17th, Chicago Sky.
While Caitlin's busy preparing for the tight schedule ahead, things are not looking great for the Chicago Sky's Bayou Barbie. I'm talking about none other than Angel Reese, who's throwing tantrums because of her low salary.
And you go home, and you go to basketball practice, and you go home.
You think we're nerds?
Yeah.
You think we're nerds?
Lexi told me that y'all are nerds.
Oh my gosh.
Lexi told me, like, you go there and find your sweetheart.
Not only that, but she's also threatening to quit the WNBA by boycotting the upcoming season. Can you believe her antics?
Angel Reese says WNBA players could go on strike over salary and benefits. All right, so Angel Reese says this. Rob, if you want to play this clip. You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your life.
Angel Reese warns that WNBA players could go on strike over low salaries, but the question is, does she really deserve a salary raise? Here's the deal. Clark is also earning $78,066 in 2025, which is roughly the same salary as Angel, but the difference is that she's absolutely killing it out there.
You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance in a year? 48%. That's massive for them. So that's the argument they're making. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
Then, and when it comes down to merch from 23 to 24, they're up 601%. Then when it comes down to being broadcasted on ESPN, they average 1.2 million viewers per game, 170% increase. So the viewership is
absolutely correct. Clark has not only showcased herself as a remarkable player, but also uplifted an entire league by improving everything from TV ratings to merch sales.
When I think about Caitlin Clark,
The operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude. There's an incredible level of gratitude that should be accorded to this young lady with what she did for the sport. And when you take that into consideration and you think about what the WNBA is on course to continue to do, how women's basketball, the attention, the allure, how all of a sudden that's in the mind's eye of everybody else, you clearly have this person, Caitlin Clark.
And you never see Caitlin Clark complaining about her low salary, do you? Only Angel Reese. I mean, this is pretty ironic. Angel's out here crying her heart out and threatening a total boycott, all because she doesn't like her current compensation from the WNBA?
The ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again. The ones that the year after, they gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
No, they
Who's
are.
that?
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
I need to get in the. I need to get in the field.
You need to come to the
I
meeting.
gotta get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, they don't give us. If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
Let's be honest, Angel has contributed basically nothing if we compare her achievements to Caitlin Clark, and still, she's making ridiculous demands about her salary.
How in the hell can you be this blinded by your own entitlement? Basically, the dump divers in the WNBA, they must be surrounded by people who are constantly lying to them. Because I have never seen a group of entitled players overvalue themselves this much financially.
That's right, Angel is grossly overvaluing her status in the WNBA, and if she thinks boycotting can solve her salary problems, then she's being delusional. Let's be real, Angel has not shown any significant progress in her on-court skills or off-court popularity. On the contrary, her performance has nothing but horrible in the past few games.
I'm sure there were some red faces in the crowd caused by uncontrollable laughter, as the crowd of dozens of people witnessed Angel Reese once again struggle to make routine layups.
I just can't even believe it. Let's roll this right here. Look at this. 1, 2. I mean, are you kidding? 3. What is happening? Again. You. I mean, I just can't even. I just can't even believe it.
Angel's performance has been ridiculously bad, and it doesn't take an expert to prove it. Her own fans have realized this by now. Angel's horrible performance in the recent unrivaled league doesn't help her case either.
WNBA salaries should be equal to the NBA, at least according to Angel Reese.
If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
So let's take a look at Angel Reese highlights and see if she's deserving. Starting with the fundamentals, drive to the hoop strong and controlled to the rim. In transition, using the glass to perfection. But the poor layup skills are by design, clank, rebound, and one. Easy points, easy stat pad. How about some post action to make Wilt Chamberlain roll over in his grave stat padding masterclass yet again?
That's right, Angel is making extravagant demands, sitting on her podcast while giving nothing in return. And let me remind you, Angel could only get her podcast thanks to Caitlin Clark because she kept comparing herself to the Rookie of the Year and basically fabricated a so-called rivalry against Clark. Let's be honest, if it weren't for Caitlin Clark, nobody would recognize Angel Reese.
If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big. Yes, she's a talent. Yes, she would have made the WNBA. But in terms of her popularity, it really soared after she took down Caitlin Clark. And then Caitlin Clark came back last year and got revenge by knocking LSU out in the Elite Eight, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely correct. Let's not beat around the bush. Angel's only famous because of Caitlin Clark and not the other way around. Angel told constantly everyone that people were not only watching the WNBA for one person, but for her as well. But this just wasn't the case.
If I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
And now, Caitlin's out there creating a legacy for herself while Angel's still crying for an increased salary just like a toddler wants more candy. Can you believe it? This is hypocrisy at its finest. Angel's recent performances feel like a fish out of the water or a wingless bird trying to fly, and she still has the audacity to demand a pay raise.
Angel Reese threatened to sit out games if Kat Engelbert refused to acquiesce to her demands. I hope it comes to that. I don't think the dump would ever recover, and Uncle KC's dream would finally come true. The WNBA would no longer exist.
That's right, Angel has no leverage because WNBA was a fairly unrecognized league before Caitlin Clark's debut. Whether we talk about TV ratings, ticket sales, or overall revenue, WNBA has never really shown a positive growth in any financial aspect. Forget growth, the WNBA hasn't even turned a single penny in profits in its entire history.
The WNBA, listen to this. Owners are mad, they're furious, they're tired of it. WNBA lost $40 million this year. That's right, they lost $40 million.
That's right, not a single dime of profit in over 25 years. Also, keep in mind that the NBA has been supporting the WNBA all these years by means of financial aid, yet these same people are now challenging the NBA to keep covering their financial losses. Striking for higher wages at a business that's running in the red is a bold move, if not insane. Until the WNBA can actually turn a profit, their demands, especially those from Angel Reese, aren't going to be heard.
The problem is, the vast majority of WNBA players, they can't afford a work stoppage, which is why I keep saying they have no leverage. Even the top earners like Bob Griner or Natasha Cloud, they can't afford to miss a full season's worth of pay. If Kat Engelbert were forced to run the WNBA like an actual business, she would immediately deny these demands and risk losing the season, but
that's correct. Forget Angel Reese, even the top earners in the WNBA can't really afford to miss out on one season of pay. Now think for a moment, if everybody really boycotts the league, it could very well be the end of women's basketball.
And all the while we're watching this, this is the very same player. I think it's valid. This is the person saying she deserves more money or I'm walking out. She just passed the ball directly into the damn backboard, got her own rebound, and by the way, that doesn't actually work in professional basketball or any other basketball to my knowledge.
While Angel Reese struggles to make layups and cries about low salaries, Caitlin Clark is out there making history and playing the most matches ever in the history of the WNBA.
41 of 44 games on national TV, most national TV games in franchise history, most national TV games for a single team in WNBA history. I mean, obviously it's the most in WNBA history. The WNBA has never had more than 40 games in a season. Like, obviously.
I mean, this is unbelievable. Clark's already set another record and the season hasn't started yet, and nobody can guess how many more she will break when the season ends.
That's why the Indiana Fever have the most national TV games in franchise history. That's why the Indiana Fever have the most national TV games for a single team in WNBA history. Whether we were expanding from a 40-game season like last year to a 44-game season like this upcoming season, the Indiana Fever were going to break this record regardless.
That's right, Caitlin's games are getting so much traction that the WNBA owners have to switch to bigger and better stadiums to accommodate all the Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans. Now that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we call the Caitlin Clark effect.
What do we have here? We have another game that's been moved involving Caitlin Clark, another game moved. And this is what, the 6th game that's been moved? 6 teams have moved their game against the Indiana Fever because they want to make money. They want to capitalize.
That's correct. Due to Clark's sheer popularity, 6 teams have been forced to move their games to bigger stadiums against the Indiana Fever. Can you believe it? 6 teams. First Aces moved their game, then the Mystics, then the Sky, the Sun, Dallas. And finally, the Atlanta Dream moved the game to bigger stadiums only to print more bucks and sell more tickets.
How is Chicago going to welcome Caitlin Clark this next year around? How are they going to top Barbie Night in a 9,000 seat arena? Well, easy. We move Barbie Night to a 21,000 seat arena. Venue and date change. Our regular season games against the Chicago Sky are moving to the United Center.
And don't get it confused, the stadium change is happening only because of Caitlin Clark and not Angel Reese. That is exactly why Angel is not the biggest draw in the WNBA.
Last year, the Indiana Fever were in Chicago, and a lot of us were asking, why aren't they putting this in the big arena? Are they really that stubborn that they're ready to just turn away dollars, just for a narrative. Seems as if they got their end of their year report, looked at the bottom line and said, you know what? Slam shut. In 2025, we're gonna be in the United Center.
Other teams have realized it too. Remember last year when the Mystics owner disrespected Caitlin Clark? Well, now she's moving arenas too to earn off of Clark's popularity. Now this is ironic and hilarious at the same time. Meanwhile, in Chicago, things are looking terrible for Angel Reese. She's soon gonna be tired of demanding more money. Why? Because nobody's listening to her demands.
I'll tell you what $50 million is. It's how much money the WNBA lost last year. And that's a little bit better than the year before when they only lost $40 million this past season. So here's the catch when you're going to go on strike. MLB, NBA, NFL. What's the number one revenue sport in America? What do you think it is? The NFL. How much do you think they make? $17 billion. The NBA, a little over $11 billion. The MLB, also $11 billion. The NHL, $7 billion with a B. You guys are a alleged $150 to $200 million company. You're operating at a loss every single year. You've never made money. It's called a zombie company. You're subsidized by the NBA.
Many fans even joke that if Angel goes on a strike, who will be supplying us with the missed layup highlights? But on a serious note, Angel's arguments are bordering on the ridiculous. Remember when Angel said she doesn't even know how much salary WNBA pays her? She was also seen constantly mocking the league by saying that the top brass don't pay her enough.
Possibility. Reese has been vocal about her low WNBA salary, revealing her $74,000 a year salary doesn't cover rent, stating on Instagram Live, "I just hope you know that the WNBA doesn't pay my bills at all. I don't even think they pay one of my bills." Reese's financial struggles stem from WNBA salary not matching her past earnings, as her NIL valuation at LSU was $1.8 million.
This is getting more and more ridiculous by the minute. Not only that, Angel also whined and complained about not having enough money to pay her house rent. And it's not that Angel's going bankrupt or anything like that, because let me remind you, Angel has been earning substantially well from her sponsorships, advertising, and podcasting.
Earnings as her NIL valuation at LSU was $1.8 million, bolstered by deals with Reebok, PlayStation, McDonald's, and Coach, while a 4-year rookie deal was $324,000 with $74,000 due next season.
And Caitlin, on the other hand, she's filling stadiums and outselling everyone in the WNBA without complaining about her salary. I mean, this is the difference between a professional player and a wannabe athlete. One is solely focused on improving herself and the league, while the other Constance wants to whine and complain about everything. In that sense, Caitlin shows pure professionalism on her part and continues to push herself beyond the limit. With such a mentality, it is a no-brainer that she's going to be far ahead of her competition. While Angel continues to cry about her salary, Caitlin is winning the WNBA one game at a time. And with next season coming up, it is only a matter of time before we see her breaking records and earning accolades, just like a kid receiving trick or treats on Halloween. So what do you think? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.